So the data availability has become easy. And accuracy of data is very critical. I'll say first select a right partner in implementing the SAP.
Correct.
Okay, even in our case, like we were selecting partners. We were looking for partners. We took more than a year before selecting emerging alliance SAP partner.
That's a very long time.
A very long time. We analyzed a lot of people and we understood, you have very core experience in implementing this. After understanding all these things, we started working with emerging alliance.
Star Boxes India Pvt Limited, a company established in 2007 for providing customized packaging solutions for globally renowned FMCG companies in India, is now a leading manufacturer of corrugated boxes and EPS solutions for major OEMs in India. Might they be electronic equipment manufacturers, automotive manufacturers, FMCG companies, or platform aggregators. Located out of Tiruvallur, Chennai, India, they have more than 5+ variety of products, 40+ years of experience, 70+ customized design packaging solutions, and more than 50+ valuable clients. In today's interview, we have the CFO of Star Boxes India Pvt Limited, Mr. Satya. Sir, if you have to pick one challenge, which was a great challenge that you faced before SAP, and after bringing SAP, SAP was able to take over that challenge or solve that problem, what would that be? Just give me one challenge.
Crafter. So we are a data-driven company.
Okay.
So data availability was a biggest problem. Data traceability, and we used to have all data recordings were manual. Excel.
Okay. They're all on looks. Okay.
So any information if you want to do for any reporting purpose, so again bringing those data in a proper structured way was a difficult.
Not only that, we do not know whether the data given is correct or wrong, or can be even fabricated.
Okay, that was the biggest challenge. So once we have the SAP, so the data availability has become easy. And accuracy of data is very critical. So for example, we used to do this daily P&L even in 2010.
Okay.
So at those times to do this daily, it will be very fair to say.
Before we talk about daily P&L, daily P&L is something that I don't think our viewers have an idea about it. You just tell what a daily P&L is first, and then
see, basically the P&L is again the profit and loss account, which comprises the total income and expenditure.
And people only see it at the end of a period. So that might be month end, quarter end, or year end.
Initially, it was like people used to do it on a yearly basis. Because the data capturing was done on a manual basis. So to summarize it into a statement took a long time.
Fine, correct.
So it was on a yearly, every year, and either December or March. So it was being done. Then after the accounting system started capturing information in a system, any software, so they were able to do it on a monthly basis or quarterly basis. There are legal requirements where we need software on a quarterly basis, but for companies to analyze the information, they do it on a monthly basis. But here, to one step ahead, we started doing it at the same thing on a daily basis, where
Way back in
2010
itself, yes.
Okay. So we will have the total sales made on a particular day and the material cost incurred to make sales, and all the variable fixed cost is always a fixed. So we will capture the exact variable cost incurred to capture. So we will arrive at what is the gross profit made on the particular day, and we will also amortize the fixed cost for the particular day, and we will come up with the net profit or loss particular day. That's how we were doing it. Okay. So to do this, it is very fancy or easy to say that we are doing.
I can imagine it's very difficult
because we were not having any robust ERP system at that time.
So all this was done manually.
It was done manually. It will involve, like for example, if we have to calculate the material cost, I need to value the entire stock
exactly
a day,
and then you have to take an average for it.
I need to know what is the exact purchase, the closing, adjust the inventory differences, and the variable cost. If you say we'll have to calculate all the manpower and power, so it's a very tedious job. Even the variable cost we can calculate. The cost calculating the material cost was the easiest challenge.
Yes.
So that was the time we We were doing it even 2010.
Okay.
So capturing the data was very difficult at that time. We will have to have a set of team of people to capture all this data, and there will be another person to compile this information. Now we were able to eliminate the complete team to capture the data.
So the manual P&L, daily P&L that you were doing, something it was a process or practice which needed a lot of effort and a lot of number crunching. That after SAP came, got sorted out, right? Because you had what was the day's production, what was the day's expense coming out as a report from SAP.
Also, like to add further, so we used to send the daily report. We are a Sri Lankan based company.
Okay.
So our parent company is in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
And my chairman, finance directors, since they are operating from Sri Lanka, so they depend most of the informations what we share to them. So there we have a practice of sharing daily reports, which will comprise of data, the payments we made on a day, the sales happen on a day. So again, lot of team efforts were there on capturing all this data, which we used to send all these reports on a daily basis. So again, this SAP has solved a lot of problems in again capturing data for us. If you say typically, I would have, for example, we were there when we were doing in 2010. We were 5 members as a team.
Okay.
Today, we are in a 20% CAGR in 2025.
Okay.
And we are a 5-member team.
That's how
We are able to manage the complete finance activity with the same team because we were able to automate a lot of manual processes.
Okay. Very well said, sir. Very well said. So what you told just now on the finance side is a great eye-opener for most of the viewers or people who are looking forward to having SAP implemented to their company. Can you just also throw some light on how has SAP streamlined your process, or what value addition has it brought to the process?
Okay. See, any company,
Okay.
process is very important. Either it is an operation or finance.
No one can say no to that.
Yes. So the success of Japanese companies is basically on following the setting. They will always set a practice of following the process
Exactly.
religiously. Same way in any company, if you don't deviate any process, so the outcome is always correct. But when we are in a manual mode, for example, people could receive a goods without raising purchase order itself.
Okay.
So there is no cross check or check and balance is available in the manual process. But when we have a proper ERP system like SAP,
Okay.
we can always set the system in such a way that people cannot pass on any one process. So we were able to structure the process in such a way that all the processes are completely followed before the bill comes to finance.
So okay.
In a way, I can able to ensure that the information accounted is all correct.
Correct. Okay. So it's a great way to say that everyone has to fall in a line.
Correct.
Everyone, might it be new, old, inexperience, they'll all do this process in the same way. And the system like SAP ensures that you all fall in line.
Yes, that's it.
So one challenge that most of the company faces is government regulations, norms and statutory compliance. Okay. Especially when they are opting for a system, an ERP system, they always keep in mind that the ERP system should comply with the statutory norms and requirement. What improvements has SAP brought to the compliance aspect or the taxation aspect of the company?
Okay. Today, the compliance is a nightmare. Daily accountant.
That's true. Very much true.
Like after this GST.
Yes.
And
The cost of compliance is sometimes very high when compared to any other. The product cost is.
Yes, the cost of compliance is going very high because the government has always have a view, like the cost of non-compliance should be higher so that people will comply. So that's how the cost of compliance is also becoming higher. The post GST, and the exterior, now a lot of regulations also come in the withholding tax regulators. So whenever we recruit a person in finance, we initially where 5 years back, people who has knowledge on all these field is much mandatory criteria to recruit a person.
Someone.
Because we are depend on that person to comply all these complaints.
Correct.
Even a person who has to raise an invoice should know what rate he has to apply.
Correct.
So there are a lot of other requirements. Again a pre-booking person, or
For every HSN code, the GST values, the rates will change.
again whether depends on whether CGST will apply or GST apply.
Yes.
It is all the person has to think. Again on the withholding taxes, what rate he has to exactly apply. This depends on the nature of payment, the kind of an assessee. So it varies. So now in SAP we can standardize all these things, and we can set up the system has these information.
Okay.
So there is no need you configure all this information. This is the system. So there is no need for the person who is raising the sale invoice or accounting bills need to know all these things. If we can teach them how to raise an invoice in SAP or book a bill, it is enough. The system will take care of the complaints. And also when filing the return, again, as you said, the data capturing is what very important. Today we have to maintain accounts for last 7 years. And even GST today, a raising notice for 5 years back. So we should able to have all these informations. So SAP will have a has a lot of rule.
No doubt that a system like SAP ensures the compliance and the taxation aspects are very well taken. And irrespective of the skill or the capability of the person, since all the information are already pre-fed and configured in the system, if we start how to do an invoice or a taxation document, the system will control most of things. And moreover, I think SAP also has approval mechanisms, wherein if someone raises an invoice, it can go for an approval, so that there's always a maker and checker away. Correct. Excellent. Sir, for the benefit of audience, if you will have to advise on one key point or maximum 2 key points that they will have to remember when going live in SAP, what would that be? I'm asking this question because 70% of SAP implemented globally is a failure. Even though SAP is a great product, it's a combination of great product, the efforts of the customer and the partner. So if you have to point out at 1 or 2 things that the audience have to remember for successfully going live in SAP, what will that be? Okay.
I'll say first select a right partner in implementing the SAP.
Correct.
Okay, even in our case, we were selecting partners. We were looking for partners. We took more than a year before selecting emerging alliance as a SAP partner.
That's a very long time.
Yeah, very long time. We analyzed a lot of people and we understood, you have a very core experience in implementing this. After understanding all these things, we started working with emerging alliance. So that was first key step which we took in this SAP implementation. And point 2, you need to put a right team leader to implement this project.
Correct.
There must be at least one person who should have a complete knowledge on entire process, end-to-end process, because you could not expect the partners always to come and train the team. So they can only have some knowledge transfers. So if there is one person who has a complete understand the complete process, how things works in SAP, he will be able to solve a lot of the problems which comes. If there is anything which is beyond his limit, the SAP partner can come in at that time. In a way, it will create a moral responsibility on the organization also to do. And in our case, we also follow the same. We also set a team in leader to handle. He was the moral responsible person to implement. So by which we were able to implement it in 90 days. We started the implementation somewhere in October. We went on the parallel run in January. January. So 3 months, it was a time where...
3 months should be a record-breaking time. If you ask people in the industry, they would say that SAP is implemented for 6 months, 8 months, even 1 year altogether. Even then, it is not successfully implemented. So 90 days is definitely a record.
But it's because we brought in a right partner who had a very core experience in the field. So they already mapped the complete process in SAP in such a way that it doesn't take much time for us to move from the existing year. Again, we were not doing this parallel runs for a long time ago. From the 1st April, we started going live, and we were completely using SAP only for our.
So Jan, Feb, March, 3 months is what you are doing a parallel run, and then you migrated in a bold way to the new system.
Because to learn swimming, you have to fall in the water. Correct. So you cannot learn it from outside. So as when we found the SAP architecture is completely in order.
Yeah.
So that you trusted the architecture, foolproof software.
Yes.
So if there is an error, it is to be a manual error, which we do.
Okay.
If you have to correct our error, we should not. We should do it and see how things go.
So you took the plunge.
We took the decision and see what is going to happen. Nothing will happen. Everything can be corrected. So we started going live, and it is a good decision. So from there, there is no looking back.
Excellent.